Okay, lesson 78, rational equations. These are some of the best problems in algebra. What a rational equation is an equation with fractions. Rational means that it has fractions. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. So let's look at our first example. It's just going to be an equation with fractions. Now, typically we don't like fractions. And you'll see why. A y over 2 plus 1 over 4 equals y over 6. Now you can see this is called an irrational equation because it's an equation with fractions. What we do in algebra when we have an equation with fraction is we get rid of them. We always get rid of them. We don't mess around with them. So to get rid of them, all you do is you look at all your denominators and you find your lowest common denominator. So if we look at our lowest common denominator, it's 2, 4, and 6. So that would be our denominators are 2, 4, and 6. So our LCD is 12. What we're going to do is as long as you multiply everything in an equation by the same number, it doesn't change the value of the equation and the equation stays balanced. So we're going to multiply each term by 12, the lowest common denominator, like that. You have to do it to all of every term in an equation. The 2 goes into 12 6 times, the 4 goes into 12 3 times, and the 6 goes into 12 2 times. So as you can see, all the denominators crossed out, they're ones, so we don't have any more fractions, which makes it really easy to solve these problems then. So we're going to get up here 6 times y is 6y. Plus 3 equals 2y. And now the problem is super duper simple. So we're just going to, we'll subtract the 2y from both sides. Don't let this scare you when you see what happens here. So we get 4y plus 3 equals 0. Don't let that panic you, it's okay. And then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. And we get 4y equals -3. We're still trying to get the y by itself. That's the whole point of solving the equation. And so we get y equals -3/4. And we solved a rational equation. Let's try another one. Okay, here we go. Next one, we have 2x over 7 minus 3x over 2 equals 1 over 3. First thing is we're going to find our LCD, our lowest common denominator. Now you'll notice they're all prime. 7, 2, or 3 are all prime. If all your denominators are prime, to get the common denominator, lowest common denominator, you just multiply them all together. So 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 7 is 42. So we're going to multiply every term by 42. So 42 times this one, 42 times this guy, and 42 times this guy. 7 goes into 42 6 times, 2 goes into 42 21 times, and 3 goes into 42 14 times. Okay? Then we don't have any more denominators, so we just take our numerators. We have 6 times 2, which would be 12x. 21 times 3, which is 63x, equals 14. And that gives us -51x equals 14. We divide both sides by -51. And our final answer is x equals, sometimes they're not very nice answers, that doesn't even look good the way I wrote it there, -14 over 51. We usually don't leave the negative sign in the denominator. You can either do it -14 over 51 or you do -14 over 51, like that. Okay, those were the 2 easy ones. Let's try 2 more difficult ones and then we'll be done. Okay, here you go. 3y over 2 plus 8 minus 4y over 7 equals 3. So we're going to start out the same way. We're going to look what's our common denominator. Now this would be 3 over 1, right? So they're prime numbers, so we just multiply them together. So our common denominator is 14. So we're going to multiply everybody by 14, this guy by 14. Now anytime you have a binomial, you need to put parentheses around it so that you remember when you take 14 times the top, you're really taking it times the 8 and the negative 4. So anytime you have a binomial, put parentheses around it. And then 14 times this one. The 2 crosses into the 14, divides into it 7 times. The 7 divides into 14 2 times. There's nothing to cross out here. So we're just going to go left to right. So it's 21y plus 16 minus 8y equals 42. And here we're going to get 13y plus 16 equals 42. We just combined our like terms. Subtract 16. This should have been a 42. That's an ugly looking 42. Minus 16. And we get 13y equals 26. And we get, divide both sides by 13, and y equals 2. That one came out nicely. Okay, last one, similar idea. It's x plus 1. Note the binomial in the numerator. Minus 3 over 2 equals 2x minus 9 over 10. Okay, we got double binomials going on there. Okay, we're going to find the lowest common denominator. What do 4, 2, and 10 all go into? They all go into 20. So it'd be 20. So we're going to take, let me get my red pen out. We're going to take everybody, now notice the binomials, put parentheses around the binomials. So everything times 20. This times 20, this times 20, and this times 20. And then 4 goes into 20 5 times. This makes it a little simpler. 2 goes into 20 10 times. And 10 goes into 20 2 times. Here we go. We're just going to distribute this through. So we're going to get 5x plus 5 minus 3 equals 4x minus 18. So once you cross them out, then you can distribute them. I'm looking in the book trying to figure out what their method to their madness is. Ugh, try not to look there if you don't have to. So you're going to get 5x plus 2 equals 4x minus 18. Oops, you know what? This right here, some reason it wiped it out. Hold on a second. This should have been a 10. Just showed a 1 there. Okay, so this should have been 30. Just checking myself. So this should have been a 30. Some reason that disappeared. And so this should be 5x minus 25. There we go. All's well. Okay, now I'm going to subtract a 4x from both sides. And we get x minus 25 equals negative 18. Add 25 to both sides. And we get x equals 7. And that is your final answer. All right, so these aren't too bad. Just multiply every term by the common denominator, and if there's a binomial, put parentheses around and make sure that you distribute it. See, I distributed this to get the 4x, distributed that to get the negative 18. All right, that's it for lesson 78. I'm done now. Not seeing anyone really cared. Algebra 1. Yeah. When I'm talking in here, it's because I'm doing a video. Usually when I'm in here talking to myself, it's because I'm doing a video. Oh.